From the ashes of the old world, in the shadows of the last great war, the world was shattered by magic. Plains became deserts, mountains crumbled into the sea. Witches and heretics are burned in the street, lined with oathbreakers hung by their necks. Where once was law, order, empire, now only hardship and savagery remain. To the east, in Highport, a weary king rules an ungrateful people. To the west, his brother keeps swords sheathed and words of rebellion at bay. To the north and south, savage elves and cowardly dwarves openly practice arcane arts, shrouded by leaf and stone. In a time when a man's worth is measured by his word, when might makes right, and a quick death is a mercy, only those more foolish than brave venture far from home. The age of peace and prosperity has ended. In its place, only strife.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our first game of Age of Strife. Players, how are you doing today?
Very good.
Okay, very well, thank you.
What's been up in the last week? Anything interesting going on?
I've been trying to fit in more D&D games into all the free spaces of time I have, and a little bit, just a little bit. Not enough.
Not enough?
Not enough at all.
How many games do you have going?
I DM every Thursday night, but I've been trying to just fill in with more when I can.
So 2 games a week isn't enough. You got to bring it up to 3 or 4.
Well, yeah.
That's admirable. Nice. What about the rest of you guys? Jeff? Anything going on?
Actually, yeah, my played D&D yesterday. My paladin picked up something he shouldn't have, and it overtook his mind. So that should be interesting. I think my DM's going to be giving me a call. Yes.
You think you're going to lose all your paladin powers?
I don't know. I asked him about the one there. He said not at the moment. So I don't think he wants to strip me of my powers as such.
Not until next week, right?
No, that's exactly right. We'll see how that goes. At the moment, I think it's insidious, so we should be right. Apart from that, I got back into. It almost shames me to say it, but I got back into WoW.
Ooh.
I know. It's but I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that's been my week.
That's why we get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley, what's been up with you?
Nothing really. Went camping yesterday. Or not yesterday, the night before. Was out at lake all day. Yesterday's fun.
Nice.
Kind of have a dilemma though. Like, I'm debating on what I want my next big purchase of books to be, and I'm kind of going between the new 5e monster manual coming out and the 5e manual that Pazio put out, or the
That one.
yes.
I didn't realize that there was a new 5e monster manual coming out.
Yeah, it's like Volo's Guide to Monsters or something. I don't know. But it's either going to be those or the 2E magic item compendiums.
Oh.
I've been wanting those for a while. I think it comes down to a lot of what I see myself playing in the future. The guys I play with, they typically favor 5E more. You need to have to talk with them, Neil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with 5e. It's just a very different system. Those 2e books can be adapted with a little bit of thought into basically any system. They're just very daunting because it's 4 books. 4, I think, 200-page books?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
With a lot of randomization tables in there. You can get a lot of crap out of that. Those are fun books.
I've been wanting them for a while.
Yeah. Patrick, what about you?
Nothing too exciting, really. I've been going to class, playing a lot of games. I've been really into Civ 5 lately. I've just been playing that over and over, trying to beat it on difficulty 7, whatever that's called.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's really hard. They get so many advantages.
Have you beaten it on difficulty 6?
Yeah.
I am in awe,
I've
man.
been there a few times.
Do you do military victory?
I usually do diplomacy, which
Is
I
that
don't
the
know.
UN victory?
Yeah, you just have to ally with all the city-states really and survive until you can finally be elected world leader.
Do
It
you have
seems
a
like the way to win.
particular civilization you like to play as then?
No, I just do random every time. The latest one I did was Sweden, and for some reason everyone hated me. I was attacked by 3 different civs really early on, and it's been a struggle, but been doing a lot of that. NBA 2K17 just came out Friday,
Mm-hmm.
so I played that all of yesterday, just like 12 hours straight.
Oh my god.
Yeah, other than that, not too much.
Getting up at noon, playing video games all day.
Yep.
Yeah, life of a student. Nice. Well, in the last week, some of our players also did a little bit of extra work on their characters' backstories. So, anyone want to update us on character backstories? Bradley, you're smiling. I'm sorry, Benjamin, you're smiling. You got a
I'm
change?
smiling because I didn't write up a backstory.
Oh.
I've only been thinking it through, whereas I like what everyone else has written up. They were very good.
Well, talk to us, guys. What'd you do?
Well, I guess I can go first. So I'm just gonna read the paragraph that I wrote that I think explains it pretty well. So Radric places utmost importance on the Amberfall family name, reputation, and position. He was trained to fight for his whole young life up until he was mauled by the bear that also injured Torin. After that happened, his constitution was never the same, and he turned to drinking as a way to cope with what seemed like the first 22 years of his life being made meaningless. 13 years of drinking and little else later, his sister, the head of the family and the breadwinner, has been blinded, and he's finally shaken himself out of his slump in an effort to pick up where Danny left off and continue the long, hard fight to raise the Amberfall family to greatness.
Nice.
So I think that does explain why I'm not married, because I was just drinking the whole time and ignoring everything else.
Okay, and so it's this, your sister being injured that has brought you kind of out of your drunken, wasteless life.
Yeah, once that happened, it kind of snapped me out, I guess. And despite having 1 HP, I think, you know what? I'm going to go out there and give it my best shot.
Oh, well, that's certainly admirable. Nice.
Yeah.
Jeff, I seem to think I saw a big backstory from you.
Yeah, with that 3 hotness, etc., I had quite a bit to talk about. So pretty much I was the father's favorite out of me and Ramsey, the twin.
Mm-hmm.
And, grew up with that, parents being adventurers, so probably looking at the world a little bit differently. Was at a picnic, and there was a girl who was being attacked by a bear, not quite, but was about to. So we fearlessly charged in, and the bear won. 4 hit die, or 4 plus 4 hit die, whatever it is. And I got horribly mauled, and that changed me.
Oh.
I started realizing that, well, one, I didn't want to be in that situation ever again. And so I took up blacksmithing and started training. And so, since then my life has been very focused, very purposeful because of that event. So, doing everything I can to make sure I'm never in that position of weakness. But also, my hotness has caused me to realize that I have to see to the heart of people to relate to them. And so really understanding people and seeing that I have a new lease on life from this injury, which left me hospitalized effectively for months. And apart from that, everything is focused on never putting myself in that position again, but also furthering the house. And so trying to assist my older brother within that.
Cool. Bradley, you have some backstory written?
I don't think I've really changed anything since our character building session. If anything, I think I've just kind of been working on fleshing things out, determining why things are what they are. And really, I think in all of that, there's really nothing major that really needs said. There is like a set of like journal entries that I'm going to be doing between sessions. The first one is written and it's in a link on the Reddit thread, but it's mainly just kind of insight into like my character logic and mind and all of that.
Cool. All right. Well, without any further ado, why don't we kick off the game? All right. So,
Sounds good.
the start of the game, the very first day, is also the day that King Orwin Ironworm is crowned. The old king is dead. Arvis Ironworm had ruled for 59 years. He was 29 years old when he took command of Kalia in the second year of the war, after his father was killed in the Blackthorn Forest. Since the end of the war, Kalia has been splitting in two. The Western Duchy, overseen by Arvis's younger son, Duke Maldris Ironworm, has been experiencing drought, famine, a creeping desert, and the raiding of villages and the sacking of towns. With failing resources and an imminent threat, they have been desperately in need of help from the East. However, the Easterners have had problems of their own. An expensive war against a pirate fleet, a town leveled by elves, and the sighting of a red dragon have prevented the Eastern lords from supporting their countrymen. Even as King Orwin Ironworm takes the throne, tensions once soothed by the aged and wise king begin to flare. The rumors on everyone's lips are those of civil war. Talk of this kind only adds fuel to the fire and drives the kingdom closer to diversion. It is hoped that these two brothers might be able to hold the kingdom together as King Orwin Ironworm takes the throne. So that is the background setting for today's session. And to kick it all off, you guys are hanging out in your house, which we can see down here on the map, over at the PC estate. And you guys are just kind of enjoying life, sitting back, doing whatever you're doing. Radric is probably drinking. I don't know if the brothers are probably sparring, or I don't know what your relationship's like. What would you be doing on an average day?
I imagine my character with a religion proficiency, a mathematics proficiency, and engineering proficiency, kind of like in an isolated state, maybe in some books, notes everywhere, maybe a chalkboard with all kinds of like scribbles and stuff on it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So kind of just off on my own, giving myself to my studies.
Okay.
I like to think my character Amy, she does a lot of housework. Say she's trained in baking, does mostly wakes up early in the morning and does that, and then also practices making clothing. That's one of the other proficiencies, seamstress. And when she's done all her chores, then she changes into commoner clothing and goes out adventuring in town.
So how is your relationship with the servants? Because your family has, servants to come and cook and clean and take care of things around the house. I mean, you're nobles after all. What is your relationship with them?
We decide how many servants we have. I know we've got a family.
I don't know exactly how many servants you have, but enough to keep you guys in order. Probably 2 or 3. I don't think you need that many.
I think spend most of my time with the siblings, Jonathan and Torrin, when I'm in the house.
Cool. Patrick, we know you're drunk. Jeff?
I'm probably either sparring with my drunk uncle. Would be my first thought, and if he's too in a state of inebriation, he can't do that. I'm probably just smacking on some tools, and it's a blacksmith. Do we have a smithery in the like a basic forge?
No.
No. Okay.
No, you have to go bother one of the blacksmiths in town.
Yeah, I'm probably down there then. Probably down in town then, offering my services for a very cheap rate.
Okay. And that's everyone, right? Cool. So you guys are doing these things, enjoying life as it is before it all changes spontaneously. When the front door kicks open and you hear shouting coming from downstairs. By the time you guys get there, except for Torin, who's out of the blacksmithery trying to get some work done, you see Danny. She's being brought in by a couple of soldiers. Her sword is splashed on the ground. There's blood all over the place. She's covering her face with her hand and screaming quite loudly. The other family members rush to her side as the soldiers lay her down on the ground and look about for someone who's in charge. Who do you have in your family that would be in charge right now?
I still want to say the drunk uncle.
It might be
Maybe.
Drunkle.
I don't know if I'm responsible enough to be in charge right now.
We have
In fact, I don't even know if I would.
Susan, the
really know what's
doctor.
going on.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Susan makes her way to Danny and immediately starts looking at her wounds and seeing what's going on with her. While Henry, the old man of the house, comes over and goes, What is the meaning of this? What has happened to my daughter? And soldiers proceed to tell him a story that Danny had came in through the front gate. Everyone knows who she is. She's, the head of one of the 7 noble households around here. They waved her on through, and a minute or two later, they heard some cries. They saw her getting beaten by a group of people, and then as the guards approached, the guys ran off down an alleyway. Now, if you take a look at the town map, at the bottom side of the town map, this is the alleyway they're referring to. The one just south of the livestock market, southeast of the livestock market. That is where Danny was assaulted and beaten, and her pursuers escaped north through that alleyway. The guards tried to chase after them, but these guys brought her here. Other guards are already chasing those guys down wherever they've been. And the guards now ask your permission to leave and join the hunt for thieves.
Well,
Henry nods as everyone else remains silent and says, Go, we'll take care of her. Thank you, young gentlemen. Leave you be. Susan asks for some help dragging Danny into a room where she can be properly tended to.
I quickly step up and pick her up and carry her into the other room.
Okay. Henry asks, Torin, where's Torin off to? God, we need him at a time like this. Jonathan, when you're done with that, go find your brother.
My brother's keeper. He
Damn
should be
it!
here.
Damn it, young man! Listen to me! Go find your brother. This is an emergency. This is not the time for bickering.
Very well, very well. Amy, help me. Help me get Mother into the other room and we will go. Uncle, are you coming?
After seeing all this standing a bit quiet, I'm going to run up to Danny, my mother, give her a hug around her waist and say, what happened? Did you see what happened? Who did it?
Susan brushes you off and goes, Not now. Her life is in danger. You can ask questions later.
I'm gonna help them to the room.
It seems like everyone. No, actually, Jonathan, Bradley's character. Are you and Amy heading off to find Torin, or are you guys all just sitting around and waiting?
My plan was to take her into the other room and then round up Amy and Radric and head out.
All right, Radric, how are you responding to all of this?
I think I'm just, I came down when I heard the shouting. I was wondering what the hell's going on. And when I saw Danny blinded and bleeding and all that, I'm just kind of like standing in the entrance room where they came in. And she's been taken away and I'm still just standing there like, what? Like, I can't know. What is this? how could she get hurt like that? What happened? And I'm just kind of confused for now.
I normally don't wear my armor around town given the circumstances, so I would throw on my chainmail and grab my weapons and then proceed.
All right. So you guys grab your gear. Radrick stays behind in a drunken, confused state, and I think Jonathan and Amy run off to find Torin.
Yeah.
All the blacksmiths are on one side of town. If you look kind of the northern area of town, there's the Smith Street. So it's quite easy to find Torin. You know, there's one street where all the blacksmiths live, or work at least. So very quickly you make your way up over the main bridge in town, over to the Smith Street. You can find him. And what do you say to him when you run into him?
Looks like we have to go throughout the whole of town.
I think I approach him slowly. I kind of get awkwardly close to him, and I don't think me and Torin are exactly too favorable towards each other. So if we get awkwardly close, I think it would be a strong body language towards him.
Although that's probably not the wisest of ideas, since I'm probably camping out some barrel wells, are they? The rings.
All right. Well, as I approach, I holler out, "Brother, brother!"
Yes. What brings you out here?
Put the hammer down. We must go.
What is the matter?
We must go. We will not discuss here. Follow us. Come on, brother.
Torin, come with us, please. Please.
All right. I'll put everything down, take the blacksmith apron off, and set out. What is the matter? What is happening? Is it with our uncle?
Follow. Come on, we must go. And I turn to head out of the blacksmith.
All right.
So, fairly soon, everyone meets back up at the house.
In the road, though, I would explain to him what was going on.
Right. You all meet up at the house. Susan has put Danny in her room and is standing outside talking with Radrick, who is maybe starting to sober up a little bit. As the four of you all gather together, she puts her hands in her pockets, leans against the door, and says, well, Danny's okay. Her wounds are not serious. Her cuts are superficial. Just some bad scrapes and some heavy bruising. But she can't see.
What?
She's blind. There's no wounds to her face, no wounds to her eyes, and she's been saying something about a man with a blue beard and his eyes closed.
Well, that's just ridiculous. Why can't she see?
Well, if you guys can all promise to act calmly, you can come in and see her. But don't get too excited. She's in a bit of a state right now.
I nod my head and proceed into the room.
Okay.
And I imagine my character is a mommy's boy, so I go right up to her side, up towards her head.
She's resting in bed. Her eyes are wide open. They're not milky. They're not covered over with anything. They're wide open. The pupils are dilated the appropriate amount for the dimness in the room. And she's just kind of staring straight ahead and then occasionally darting the eyes around, but there's clearly no recognition. They're not focusing on anything. In fact, they're not even aimed towards each other. They're both staring straight ahead as she moves them around. She hears you guys coming in and says, Who's that? Who's that?"
Mother,
As she reaches for her sword. Ah.
It's us, Mother.
Okay.
It's good to see you alive.
Yes. Who is this Bluebeard man, Mother?
I'm not sure. I was coming straight home, and I saw a man in the alley, just briefly for a moment, a blue beard down to about here. He had his eyes closed, he was facing directly at me, and then I felt the blows raining down on my back and shoulders and head. I hit the ground. They grabbed my bag off my back, and then the guards were stomping, and that's it.
What was in the bag, Mother?
Oh, I had brought home I think I had solved our money problems once and for all. I was gone in Nixon. I've been always wanting to make my way to the temple there. I know that there's going to be something good in the temple.
You were going to take me there as well one day?
Well, that was the plan.
Mm.
I had found this... I was on the way to the temple. There were too many monsters about, so a house on the side. A noble's house that I'd never been into. Maybe a wealthy merchant, I don't know. But, oh man, the loot in there, the gold and the silver, it was fantastic. I spent maybe half an hour ransacking the place. Found more wealth than I could carry back in a single trip. So I went outside in the backyard and buried most of it, put a big rock over it so I'd remember the spot. Packed up the rest of it, as well as this strange book that I found. Red leather, stained and all over the place with these golden clasps on the edges, and a locked book. I figured there was so much wealth there, come back for any time, we'd be rich. So I brought the book and some gold and silver, candlesticks, plates, flatware, that sort of thing. I made for home, but it's a day away, so I stopped off in Darbloon and stayed with what's his name? Lord Kel Rugsbin Greendoll, or whatever his name is. Stayed with them for a night, and left in the morning and came straight here.
So what happened?
Well, I got mugged.
Right in the city?
In town. Do you not see the wounds on my face?
Yes, but
You said you stayed with.
Why would you be targeted like that? It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. Who has a blue beard?
No one's got a blue beard.
Well, someone has a blue beard, unless you're saying I'm crazy.
No.
Say, mother, who was this knight you said you stayed with?
Rugsbin Greendoll.
Did you tell them what you had in your bag?
Well, of course, we got to talking. I showed him the bag, showed him the book, showed him the gold. I told him it was all gold. I'm trying to show off. But he's the noble. They would never... I mean, these were commoners that attacked me in the streets.
Did you share with anyone else what was in the bag?
Just the knight and his family.
You say he had a blue beard.
Blue beard, and his eyes were closed and his hands were crossed. There was something odd about him. I don't want to be that person, but I wonder if he wasn't...
Could he have been one of the monsters from Nixon? Followed you back?
No. Those monsters are ugly and misshapen, stitched together creatures of all sorts, but seamlessly, born that way, born half man, half lizard, or part cat, part bird. Hideous beasts. No, this man was definitely eyes closed, hands together, almost like he was mumbling something at me. I don't want to start a witch hunt, but... Susan, could look at this. Could this be by any natural means? This blindness? Susan cocks her head to the side and... Oh.
How did it happen? Did you just go blind?
I saw the man...
Without anything happening?
It all happened so quickly. I saw him mumbling, and then things went dark and blows started landing on me.
Your eyes, they look normal. This has to be witchcraft.
Well, I'm glad my eyes are normal. I've always prized my eyes as the most important part of my body, but I can't see.
Yes.
We need to. We'll start the witch hunt.
The
You said it
gods,
yourself.
the gods must have shut the gates, correct?
They must
Right
have.
after
They had
you
better
attack.
have. If they didn't, they'll be talking to.
So that means everyone that attacked you is still in the city.
Yes. Here somewhere.
Where would they go?
Well, I don't
What
know,
did they
Rad.
They stole the book. They stole. What else did you have? Just gold?
Gold and silver, flatware, candlesticks, serving plates. The amenities of a fancy household.
A man with a blue beard cannot be hard to find.
Well, find him, and
Well, hold on. If he made Danny go blind, wouldn't he just do the same thing to us? What are we going to do?
We will search for information, and then once we have his whereabouts known, in his sleep he will die, dear uncle.
Jonathan.
He's a-
Jonathan,
He has
We-
magic.
we can't kill him because
Oh, I
we
trust
need
me,
him
he
to-
is going
we
to
need
die.
to- we needed to find out how to bring her sight back.
And take this foul
That is
source
the only
off.
clue we have.
Wise.
I agree, Amy.
Wise.
you can't kill him. He needs to be burned.
Mother, you've been around. You've been around a little bit, and I'm sure you've dealt with these types of matters before. How does one stop a witch like this from inflicting blindness?
Why do you think we've outlawed magic to begin with? You can't. It's unnatural powers. These things must. There's a reason we no longer accept this sort of arcane sorcery in the land.
Well,
Well, the sooner we get started, the better. Mother, will you be okay?
you are right. You are right, young brother.
It's been about 10, maybe 20 minutes since it happened. Why don't you give me a little time to process this? Maybe it'll just go away. Maybe it was just from the bump on my head.
Yes, that would make
It
more
could
sense.
be, right? I mean, Susan said it might just be from the blows to the back of the head. That can make a man blind.
I do not know, but
Surely it can.
regardless, somebody has attacked you, and this man with a blue beard seems to be involved, so we must find out what's happened.
Do be careful. Much as I love talking to your siblings and children, I don't think I would enjoy being stuck blind in a room with one of you for the rest of my days.
Your mother's right. You have to be cautious. Magic users, they're dangerous.
Radrick,
I know how you are, Jonathan.
How do we fight? Maybe Henry would know how to fight.
Radrick,
Would you-
Radrick. Would you take charge of these three? My children are brave and strong and good-hearted, but they are all young. And if you would please get off the sauce long enough to find the person who blinded me.
The sauce?
Yeah, so I think I must.
That would be wonderful if you could lead them and shape them into the people that they're going to have to be if our family is going to continue to survive.
I nonchalantly turn and exit the room and wait for them outside of the room.
I put my hand on Radrick's shoulder and hopefully head out with him as well.
Okay.
All right. I'll follow Jonathan.
Alright. I think you guys all exit the room. Susan stays behind inside.
Neil,
Yeah?
I have an illegal sword cane. This was purchased off of the black market. So
Yes.
that leads me to believe I have a black market contact. How does one go about getting a sword cane?
You know, I think you might understand the places where you could go. You probably don't have a friend on the inside, but you probably know the right places, like the shady parts of town, and you manage to find someone and be like, hey, I've got 50 gold. You got some sort of sword cane for me? And eventually it worked out, but I don't think you have any friends in the black market.
Okay.
Do you as a bard know Thieves' Cant?
I do not. I do not
Nah.
believe I do. Doesn't say anything about Thieves' Cant in the section for the bard.
Well,
I want to go see Henry,
Okay.
our folklore master as well.
Good old Henry.
Henry is downstairs in the main parlor. You find him down there along with Susan's children, whose names I've already forgotten. But I will remember shortly.
Louisa Astrid.
Yes, that's it. Louisa and Astrid.
That's our approach. Grandfather, I have a word.
Yes. Speak up.
I think that witchcraft may be involved here. We
Oh,
may be on a
Witchcraft.
hunt. How
You've
do we-
never seen a witch before, have you?
I don't think many have.
Oh my. Back when I was your age, there were witches and warlocks everywhere, except we didn't call them that, of course. We didn't know any better. We called them wizards and sorcerers. Fancy names for respected members of society back when we were stupid.
They were once respected.
Respected and famed. Highly paid members. Darker times. These beings are arrogant, haughty, they think they know better, and sometimes they do. They're extraordinarily intelligent and cunning. If a little bit bookish. Think of your local librarian. She may know many things, but may not know how to stand up for herself.
Mother did say that there was this rather ornate book that was discovered.
Wizards do tend to hoard their spells and books. If she uncovered a wizard's spell book, that would be cause enough for one of them to step out of hiding. It only seems to make sense. I can't imagine a wizard risking their life for trifling money. It's not something that they tend to desire.
And grandfather, how do we capture one?
Fine. Bind their hands, gag their mouth. Do not let them speak or move their fingers. That is how they produce their spells, mostly through the vocal cords. Make sure you gag any wizards you come across. Do not let them speak even a word.
Can we interrupt them in that situation? Mother did say that she saw this person with a blue mumbling.
Yes, their arcane words take a lot of concentration. You can batter them about the head, all the better. But be warned, they can sling fireballs from hundreds of feet away.
Fireball?
It's possible, I've seen it myself. Your grandmother had a friend who was a wizard once upon a time. He was able to call down lightning from the sky, burn people to a crisp.
Did you approve of this relationship?
You have to understand, Torin, it was a different time. It was a different age. The values were not the same.
But if you could be friends with one, then they weren't all bad.
How should I explain? A pet dog is a wonderful thing. A loyal pet, a good friend, a protector, and yet a dog can go rabid, and anyone bit by a rabid dog is sure to die. Now imagine that rabid dog, instead of biting one person and that person dying before the dog is put down, being able to level an entire city when it goes rabid. That is the sort of danger we're talking about. On an individual basis, each one might maybe be an acceptable person, but it is too much power for any one person to hold, and that amount of power corrupts. Absolutely.
I've seen that amongst our esteemed peers living a life of luxury while the rest of the town suffers. Well, very well, Grandfather. Thank you for that. I must put on my plate.
Yes. Yeah.
Astrid, could I, would you like to help me get my armor on?
Okay. The 12-year-old bounces over and helps you start to put on your armor. She has no qualms about the horrible marks on your face. By the way, have you decided what you're going to do about all the,
Yes.
hideousness?
In general, I will not be using the face wraps. I have them; they were given to me. And so if I think it would offend someone's sensibilities to see me, then I will have it on. But in general, I don't see it as a bad thing in and of itself, although obviously life changing. So no, generally will not wear them. But if it will offend someone, then I will wear it at that point.
Right. Cool. So, you guys are all gathered together just outside the main parlor, kind of in that hallway of your house. Torin is putting on his armor. What are the rest of you guys doing? Gathering your weapons and armor together?
Yeah, I'll go pick up my crossbow.
I think I'll try to talk to everybody while they're doing this. They shouldn't. I feel that going out in our armor is much too conspicuous. I think we should be gathering information first rather than going out swords at the ready.
Maybe we should allow Torin to come in his armor so we can have one of us ready to defend.
What are we going to be defending from?
Well,
where are we even going?
We can go and gather information on this man with the blue beard. I know Mother was not prone to the ideal of thinking aught on the Night Greendull, but he's the only one, him and his family are the only ones who knew what was in Mother's pack.
Yes, but we can't. This is all very premature. We can't go accusing knights and whoever else without any information. We have to find out what's going on first. We have to make sure that we know what we're doing.
Yes, I think information is the right thing.
So,
Blanco, it took me half an hour to get my plate chest on.
How far is the knight's house? We can go talk to him, right?
It is a day away.
Talking to this knight won't do anything.
We have pursuers that not half an hour attacked. I think that is our first line of inquiry.
The offenders are still in the city, and if we go talk to the knight and he has done something wrong, he won't admit it, and we don't have anything to prove him wrong.
I say we head to the more darker parts of town and inquire in the taverns on a man with a green beard or a blue beard, and then depending on how the conversation goes, maybe mention something about the Knight's Greendull.
Well, the guards were pursuing them. I think we should talk to the guards first, especially since Mother was a member. They should give us information.
The guards will have sympathies for our place, but I feel that we should. I think Jonathan has a good idea, but I feel that we should do this very
carefully.
Yes, and Amy, you know your way around things like this.
I know the darker parts of town, yeah?
Yes, I know you go out adventuring a lot. Well, I don't want you to go there alone, but I feel that you would be best to gather information, especially considering you're but 16. And who would suspect you? No one.
Are you suggesting that my little sister goes to the shadier parts of town?
You know, I've been
He
there
pretty much
before,
lives
right?
there anyways, little brother. It is fine.
Oh, little brother.
I think that
Well, desperate times.
inch taller, 60 pounds heavier.
we
I'm
cannot
really
let
younger.
these people
Yeah.
know.
Better looking, wiser. Well, not better looking anymore.
So, Amy, where are these darker parts of town? What are they? What goes on there? As you probably know, I stay home most of the time, so.
This would be the darker part of town over here, by this ruined Champions Hall, the brothel. The Swamp Wash is a tavern over there. It's like the real divey sort of town. Guards will occasionally patrol through the area, but they mostly stick to the outer perimeter because, like, that's where, like, the low scum of the town lives. And if they kill each other, no one really gives a shit. And if they steal from each other, no one really gives a shit. It's like, you know,
So I would
What
say
was the
fucking
name of this
leave that
tavern?
place to burn itself down.
during my adventures in that part of town, I go out in the common clothing and hang out with the other kids my age, the common people, and basically just make friends with them and have them. I get things from them in return for the information they want to know from the nobility. 'Cause I tell them that.
Yes, well, I feel that you should go speak to these commoners.
I have a way with words and a way with people. I shall accompany Amy.
I
I
feel
think that should be fine, provided you do not make yourself too known to them.
Yes, indeed.
And I
also
believe it
think
should
it's-
just be the two of you. Because,
I agree. I have a very unforgettable face.
indeed,
Perhaps I could go to the guards and find the status of their hunt because they were pursuing the muggers up north. So they would probably know where they last saw them if they've lost them, or they may have them in custody.
yes, I will come with you.
Okay.
I believe this is a good line of inquiry.
Very well.
Perfect. So why don't we take our first break here? It's a little bit early. When we come back, we are going to split the party. 10 minutes into gameplay. Amy
don't
and
do that.
Jonathan are going to head off to the sketchy part of town to go find out what information they can, while Radric and Torin are going to go talk to some guards and see what happened to the chase. But we'll do that all on the other side of our break. We'll see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.